What's up guys, Max Tech Toy Box here, and today I'm going to be doing a video review of the Google Pixel Watch. Okay, so first things first, let's go ahead and start off with the pros and things that I like about this watch. And of course, first thing up is the design. This is a beautifully crafted watch. It really looks great, okay? It's a 41 millimeter case, which on paper sounds very small, but we'll get to that in a second. Turn it over here. This is stainless steel, and this is the gold version. And this is stainless steel, the silver version, so you guys can see what they both look like. So very well crafted. I think that the gold looks better than the silver, of course, because it's stainless steel. It is a magnet for fingerprints, fingerprint magnet. Turn over here to the side. You have your speakerphone, right? Over here on the other side, you have your crown, digital crown, if you will, and action button back here, which is a little recessed, a little bit more difficult to press, but you know, it is what it is. Also have your microphone right there, both of these. No links or anything like that on the back side of this because of the way that it is designed. And I know a lot of people were complaining about the way that this is constructed, but it actually is really simple and easy to do once you get the hang of it. You just turn it and twist it. I'm doing this from behind the camera, so it's a little bit more difficult for me to put it on, but you want to align it essentially right over that, and then you're going to slide it right back over. And it's easy, simple, 1, 2, 3. So I actually do like the design of this over the way that the Apple Watch works, because you press down on the Apple Watch and then you slide. But I think that this is a really great way that they designed it. Like I said, I know a lot of flack on the internet about this, but it's one of those things that if you actually use it and get used to trying to do it, it's not that difficult at all. So, like I said, beautifully designed watch. A lot of people also were giving this thing some hard times because of the bezel. But I think the reason why the bezel is so pronounced is because it's domed. But if you look at the Galaxy Watch 5 and 4, they all have bezels. It's just that with their design choice, it's a flat screen. And so the watch actually looks bigger, but they all have bezels that come out and extend around the watch. But like I said, because this is domed, it just looks a little worse, if you will, and on video. But in person, you don't even notice the bezels, like at all. So beautifully designed watch, like I said. I have a fairly large wrist. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like on my wrist really quickly. So you guys can see I'm a big guy. I'm about 6'2", 215 pounds. Go ahead and slide this on really quickly. You guys can see. And then another thing, which I'll touch on in a second. So that's what it looks like on the wrist. And again, this is 41 millimeters. It looks a lot larger on the wrist than you would think given the size. So I actually don't have a problem with the size of the watch at all. Of course, if it was a little bit larger, I wouldn't be mad at that because I do like bigger watches, but this size is good. It's not too heavy and it's good for working out. It's a fitness tracker and a workout device. Okay. And then so the other thing that I think that they really did a good job on is these bands. They feel really good. Apple has very, very good bands. And it's really difficult to reproduce that, but these feel really good. And I also like this clasp system. The other thing with the Apple Watch, their silicone band, is you sort of pinch yourself once you put this strap tucked against your skin. Haven't run into that issue with the Pixel. So again, design, excellent. Moving forward, the other thing that I think is a pro is the Google Assistant. It's Google on your wrist. I don't think that there's anybody who will deny that Google has the best assistant out of Alexa, out of Siri, out of, you know, anyone, Bixby especially. So it's great. So for example, the screen is on. I just have to unlock it. Hey Google. Hey Google. Oh, now it doesn't want to, it's not working for me. Of course, it's camera shy. Hey, Google. And I don't know if this is because it's not on my wrist, the reason why it's not working. Let's see, because I've never tried this without putting it on my wrist. Okay, Google. For some reason, it's not working. The other way that you can do it is if you press this button right here. We're going to do this in real time. I'm not going to re-record this. Oh, your watch isn't connected to the internet. So give me 1 second. Okay, so it's connected now. Hey Google, what is the weather like outside?
Right now in Port St. Lucie, it's 63 degrees and mostly cloudy. Today, it'll be cloudy, with a forecasted high of 67 and a low of 60.
Hey Google, who won the Golden State Warriors game last night?
Yesterday, the Warriors played the Lakers. The final score was 123 to 109 Warriors.
Hey Google, how many points did Steph Curry have?
Here's what I have for Stephen Curry in the game yesterday, a game total of 33 points.
Yeah, so like I said, hands down, Google just can do great tasks. Of course, you have the Google Home app, so you can have it open doors, unlock doors, turn on lights, turn off lights. And it's just a great way to get information, right? You saw how I was able to ask it the score of the game, and then from there get tertiary information. How many points did this person have? So just great. There's no knocks against the Google Assistant at all. It can only continue to get better. Another pro is heart rate tracking. This thing tracks your heart rate every single second. So there are some people that think that that's a con because of battery life, which we will touch on later in the video. But the heart rate tracking is actually fairly accurate as well. At no point during my workouts did the heart rate sort of bottom out and just not show anything, which has happened to me before with other tracking devices. So it has stayed consistent when I compare it to other heart rate monitors like the Apple Watch or even chest straps. Fairly consistent heart rate monitor. Google said that they use machine learning to help increase, I guess, the accuracy of this. And we know that Google with machine learning is like on some next level wizardry type stuff. So they really did a great job with that. If every other wrist-based heart rate monitor mimicked this, I would be happy. Moving on, another pro is LTE. These are both LTE watches, which means that you can just pick these up and go for a run, or you can leave your phone in the car, leave your phone at home, and just go out for a drive. And you would still have internet connectivity. Case in point, today I actually wore this for the whole day when I was out rounding, and we can, just to give you guys an idea, so I did not have this connected to my phone at all. It was just connected to LTE, and I'll show you guys what the battery was today. And this was after I had went for a run. I did not put it on charge. So I went for a run. I was at 100%. I went for a 2.46 mile run, finished at about 80%, and then I rounded on patience. And as you guys can see, I did all of that stuff, and I'm still at 54%. All of this took place. I took it off the charger at like 7:10 a.m. It's 3:38, so not bad at all. Now, I wasn't doing a whole bunch with the watch, and I have to admit, when I went on this run, I was not using this for audio. It was only tracking heart rate, GPS, and I didn't take any phone calls on the watch. I did very little in the way of responding to notifications, but just to give you guys a glimpse of that, okay? So I think that LTE in a smartwatch is great because it just makes things easier, especially if you're a person that works out or you just want to take your watch into the gym or take it on for a run. You don't want to include your phone. It's just convenient. So I like that. That's a pro. Next, notifications. This is Wear OS, so that probably falls under that bracket. Notifications are nice. You can open them up. You can swipe them away. You can respond to them. I'm going to see if I can find a notification where I don't put anybody up on blast. Let's see here. Gotta find one. Well, this isn't just show you guys some of the notifications from the different apps. Of course, you can get it. You can swipe it away, okay? Fitbit and things like that, almost there. Let me see if I can find one that I can respond to. Can I respond here? Yeah, so this is an email, but let me see. So of course I can respond to an email. I'm trying to pull one up, guys, sorry. Or I can do this where I'm not gonna get anybody. Okay, so I'm just gonna respond to this Google store email. It's just gonna go to spam. So we'll just go down here. Awesome, exclamation mark, thanks, period. I can't wait to receive it. And we'll send it to Google. Let's see what Google says. And then obviously, as you guys can see from the bottom, there's multiple ways to respond with emoji, speakerphone for your voice, or with texting, okay? So let's just go back. I already showed you guys how you can swipe and go away from notifications. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you will have to do that quite often, clear all. And we'll get to that in a second because that's a con. This is the main watch screen. If you guys have used Wear OS, it's more of the same. You scroll down, quick settings, right? You can lock the screen, launch Google Home, flashlight, pay. So you swipe down here, go to your quick launch toggles, Google Home, lock your screen, flashlight, wallet. Just to show you guys this. The lock screen, it's okay, it's convenient. The one thing that I do like about the Apple Watch, not to make this a comparison, is it actually locks it so that there's no touch screen like touches in water. And then it'll actually clear out the speaker. With this, it doesn't do that. And then if you want to unlock it, you have to press and hold this for like 3 seconds. Okay, scroll down, put in this password again. Scroll, didn't want to do that. Scroll down, wallet, like I said, airplane mode, find your phone, brightness you can adjust, sorry. Nighttime mode, do not disturb, movie time, battery settings, notifications on and off if you only want it to vibrate or if you want it to make noise. Ring off, we'll keep the ring on for now. Okay, swiping over, just more recent apps. These are the tiles that I have set up and make sure I don't have anything that's gonna, here you go, YouTube Music, did that. My Fitness Pal, I have a whole bunch of different tiles like set up, but that's where all your tiles will live at on this screen. And then of course, like I said, when you scroll up, that's how you get to your notifications, and you swipe up and you can clear them all. So Wear OS 3, I think is refined. I like it. As someone who's been using Wear OS from the inception, I think that they did a really good job at this point in everything that it does. It's convenient. Moving on. Oh, one thing again with Wear OS, what does that mean? It also means that you get the Google Play Store library of applications. So that's great. Okay, so you can, there's hundreds of different applications. So I'm not going to go through all of them in depth. I just sort of showed you guys some of them here with my Fitness Pal and YouTube Music, but that's always going to be a bonus because the more applications you have, it just means the more that you can do. And speaking of YouTube Music, this watch obviously does support YouTube Music. As I said, that it also is LTE, so you can just stream music directly from your watch to your headphones, which again is convenient. Not only with YouTube Music, but you can also do it with Spotify. So I think that that's actually huge because there's a lot of Spotify customers that have not been able to just stream music outside of the Galaxy Watch. And the Galaxy Watch series up until last year was using Tizen, so they moved over to Wear OS, and so you did have Spotify on Tizen, but it was really, really crappy. Okay, I cannot explain or test how Spotify is on this watch because I haven't used it, but I know that historically Spotify on Android tends to work fine, so I would think that it's also going to be okay here. And if it's something that they stay committed to and they continue to work on, then it's only going to improve. So again, I think that it's just a bonus for users because the more options you have, the better. On the Apple Watch, all you have is Apple Music. Okay. Another pro to me is the price. So again, when you look at this build quality and the design, this watch with LTE is $399. Okay. And if you got it on pre-sale or some order, if you buy it through AT&T, you buy one, get one free. So you only pay $399 for 2 different watches. Okay. There's a bunch of different sales that were going on, but even so, obviously that makes it even a bigger deal and a bargain. But at $399, that's still a bargain. I know a lot of people were sort of complaining about the price point, but if you're comparing this to a Apple Watch that is stainless steel, you're going to be paying twice the price. So I think that sometimes people, everything is completely subjective, right? I'm not telling anybody how much money they should be spending on things, but when you actually look at the landscape of things, this is a really good buy. I know that the Galaxy Watch series, I think it's at $249 or $299 or something like that. So it's slightly cheaper than this, but you're not getting stainless steel, right? And that watch, I mean, I know it's subjective, but it doesn't look as good as this. This is just a beautifully crafted device. So if you have to pay an extra $50 to get the GPS only version or $100 for this, I don't think that that's a big deal, at least in my opinion. I touched on a little bit fitness tracking and exercise tracking on this. I like a lot as well. So of course with fitness tracking, the basic stuff that you get, like steps, right? So you get your step counter. We can go and launch it from here. That's one of the, I'm blanking, what they call it, complications. So these are the steps that I've taken today. Of course, you go in here and it'll tell you when I was the most active, the best hour. That was probably when I was running more than likely. And it'll give me a whole look at the entire week, okay? Now, even apart from that, when we go over, because I want to show you guys, of course, it'll tell me all the distance and stuff like that. but for working out. The thing that I really like about this is that, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't go to the exercise app. So we'll go right here, we'll hit this recently used, right? And we'll go up here to Fitbit exercise. We'll tap that and let's just go to, we'll say powerlifting. Okay, and we'll just go to go. The thing that I like about this is the screen and how everything is broken up. So of course it'll show you how long you've been working out, calories burned, and your minutes in the zones. And each one of these are zones, which is great. I like seeing that so I can see what my actual heart rate rhythm is. Of course it'll show me my heart rate, but if I just want to glance down and see how hard I'm actually pushing things, that's super, super convenient. So I like that. And that's super convenient. And I know like in the new Apple Watch and where on the Apple Watch OS, I think 5, they're doing something very similar to that. And so again, like I said, I think that that's a pro. So those are all of the pros that I have for the device. Now let's talk about the cons. ECG tracking is pretty crappy on this. I'm not even gonna show you guys an example because it would take too long. You have to be sitting in order to use the ECG, okay? And then even after that, I've yet to get it reading. Everything always pops up as inconclusive. So ECG on this is just not good at all, especially if you're comparing it to what's available on the Apple Watch. Even if you compare it to what's available on Samsung Galaxy Watches, it's horrible. SpO2. So this has an SpO2 tracker on it, but it actually is not activated, so you can't do anything with it. So that's a con. When they were marketing this or at the event, they said there was an SpO2 tracker on it. So I was kind of confused that there was no way to look at the actual data. And then lo and behold, you found out later that it's present, but it's just not activated. So why include the sensor and then don't have the information? Especially since this is the first watch that they have and they're late to the game and everybody else on the market has that out. It's kind of a big deal. Next up, now this is a con, but only if you do sleep tracking. Battery. If you're someone who's not going to sleep track with this watch, then battery is fine. Okay, definitely. You can get through a whole day. You can work out, do your notifications, use it for whatever you're going to use it for, and then just charge it at nighttime. But if you're going to sleep track, then you're going to have to charge this at least one time during the day. So whether that be during the time that you would normally shower or when you first wake up in the morning, you're going to have to set aside some time to charge the device. Now, a con that I didn't mention is how fast a pro that I didn't mention is how fast it charges. It charges really quickly. So if you set this on the charger for 20 minutes, you're gonna get 40 to 50% of battery, easy, okay? So throwing that out there. Another con is the confusion between Google Fit and Fitbit apps. So when I downloaded this, I switched over from the iPhone to Android, and I hadn't used Android in a couple of years. And so I went ahead and downloaded Google Fit along with the Fitbit app. The Fitbit app, as soon as you're setting this up, it recommends, or it says for you to download it. So of course I downloaded that, and then I went and downloaded Google Fit. If you're someone who has been using Wear OS, it is super confusing to all of a sudden have the app that you've been using on Wear OS devices just like not even mentioned. Like nowhere does it mention Google Fit unless you went and actively tried to download it. And then once you do that, as I'll show you guys right here, it's going to list them all as like separate applications, which to me is kind of silly. So when we scroll over here, I didn't even show you guys how you get to the apps, but this is your application button, if you will. And then when we scroll up over here, Fit Breathe, Fit Goals, Fit Heart Rate, Fit Workout, Fitbit ECG, Fitbit Exercise, Fitbit Today. It's kind of, if you had only downloaded the Fitbit app, you wouldn't know anything about Google Fit. But if you are someone who's been using Wear OS, you would know about Google Fit. So I don't know. I don't know why Google has two different apps that it owns that are doing the same thing. I think that they just need to name it all Google Fitbit. That just makes sense and incorporate, because I do think that there's some things from Google Fit that I like over Fitbit, such as being able to attach a heart rate monitor directly to the device. You can't do that within the Fitbit application, but with Google Fit you can. Okay, so there are some pros to Google Fit. I think that they just need to take the best of the best and just merge them all together. Another con is the fact that the Fitbit features are behind a paywall. So you get 6 months free of Fitbit, and then after that you have to pay for a subscription service to get information like advanced heart rate metrics, advanced sleep tracking metrics. I think there's also some sort of like workout videos that you can get with it. I don't like that, because I'm using the Fitbit experience now, I know that they're setting that up so that I would want to continue to use it. I'm pretty sure that I would still get most of my data, but I just don't like the fact that I'm giving you my data and then you're making me pay for it. Like, I already paid for the watch. Just allow me to look at my metrics. I shouldn't have to pay any additional money to do that. And again, if you're comparing it to other people in this space, Apple doesn't do that. I know that Fitbit was around before, and that's something that they started doing, I think, last year, but still, I don't like that. I'm already paying for the watch. I shouldn't have to pay extra for, for you to give me my data back. Oh, and then the last con that I have is kind of silly, but still it's a con. You cannot deselect all the apps for notifications. So, and I showed you guys in the beginning, I had to scroll all the way down to clear all. That's because there's no way when you set up the notifications for this to just deselect apps and only select certain apps. You have to manually deselect all of the apps, and I just haven't had time to do that. And then you go back and select it. So it's kind of a glaring omission that they didn't think about. But yeah, nobody wants to have 100,000 notifications on the watch and have to scroll all the way to the bottom to clear them, especially if it's for applications that you don't normally receive notifications for. So I know that this video was pretty long, okay? And I really feel like I didn't even go into super detail with a lot of things. But overall, would I recommend getting the Google Pixel watch? Yes, okay? If you are an Android fan, if you have an Android device, if you are in the Android ecosystem in 2022, I don't think that there's a question. This is the watch that you should be getting. I'm not knocking the Galaxy Watch. I've used the Galaxy watches before in the past. I've not used the most recent one, okay? But when I compare this experience to every other experience that I've ever had on Wear OS, this is head and shoulders above everything that I've ever used, okay? It's an awesome watch. Google Assistant, Fitbit, right? Fitness tracking, LTE, streaming music directly to your headphones. It's great, okay? This is exactly what I wish Wear OS was like a couple of years ago when Apple Watch was head and shoulders above everyone else. If you are an iPhone user and you're looking to switch over to Android, and if you're fully committed to doing that, then of course this is the watch that I would recommend, hands down. If you are on the fence, if you have previously been an iPhone user and you're thinking about switching over to Android, I don't necessarily think that this is enough to draw you over to the ecosystem. The whole reason why I switched over to the iPhone back in 2017 was because of the Apple Watch Series 4, because I needed something that did fitness tracking. I needed something that had all of these features back in 2017. And because it was so much better than everything else that was available, I switched and I loved it. And it is what it is. But if you are currently an iPhone user, you've been experiencing these things now for quite a few years, I don't think that it's going to be enough to pull you back over to Android for a bunch of other things that I will touch on when I do my Google Pixel 7 Pro and 7 review. So all in all, again, if you are an Android user, this is the watch that you should be purchasing, hands down. Great deal. It's just good. And this is only the first generation. I know that some people were having connectivity issues. I didn't. This is actually the first time I've ever used the watch where I showed you guys on video where it was not connected to the Wi-Fi while I was here in the house. I've had no issues outside of that, but I know that there were some people discussing that might have been before they got the software update that came out when the watch launched, because I think those were mainly reviewers. So this is Max Tech Toy Box signing off. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's anything that I didn't touch on this video that you guys wanted to know more about. And until you guys see me in the next one, stay safe. Peace.